Hi, everyone, and thank you for tuning in to Carrie Psychic Cafe. I am Carrie-Ann Hartley, your host here at Carrie Psychic Cafe. It is a one question and answer. I have 4 awesome guardians, and my ability is to hear and be able to help the world. I just wanted to tell everybody tonight is an unbelievably I am so blessed to have a show like going to have tonight. Our special guest tonight is Andrea Perrin. She is not just an amazing, talented woman. She is my friend, my mentor, everything that I could ever ask for in someone that would be able to guide me and help me in anything. We just had a conversation before the show, and I just wanted to let everybody know that it's going to be quite different tonight on the show. Okay, Andrea is going to be speaking. She'll be coming on at about 8:15, and she's going to be speaking about 25 minutes about her journey, all the wonderful ability, everything that she had going on, the Conjuring, the books. The 3rd book is coming out soon. But what we wanted to do a little bit was to give whoever is watching tonight and is out there, I wanted them to give a little bit of, what is it, like let them know a little bit about Andrea. So we've put together something that we like you to listen to, so once we'll get to that in 1 second. I want to thank everybody that's in the chat room. We have our staff there, and that's Suziani and also Aunt Joan. We have Amnon. Hello, Amnon.
Hello, how are you? You
awesome.
Look beautiful.
Thank you. And then we have wonderful Nick answering the phones. And I think tonight the special treat that you're gonna get tonight is that after Andrea's done with her 20 minutes, my mentor is gonna be answering questions too. We're gonna flip back and forth. And tonight, everybody in the world that's watching, thousands of views, you're gonna actually have an opportunity to ask Andrea a question. And whatever comes out, whatever she feels that she could help along with me and everything like that. I want everybody to know and to let everybody understand that this has not been done before. So that's because my mentor has given me the okay to make it happen. And just a little willy wind up here. Our number is 323-792-3050. I'll be saying it more often, okay? And also we're going to do I'll be in Salem, Massachusetts at the Festival of the Dead for the Psychic Fair, October 1st to November 4th. All month long. Tom is an open rental. You can take them. You do whatever you want. You can keep them for the month if you like. And if you need to know a little bit more about Tom looks like this. So that's open an option for you. And also, the ground rules are always as follows. 1 question per person. Newbies in the room get their questions answered first. The Newbies, I love you with all my heart. Please help everybody in the room. Help everybody, okay? Tom's here. Hey, Tom.
Hey, hello.
Hello. So let's get rolling here because we have, and again, this is going to be a little bit different show because I know you're used to a certain way, okay, and you're used to everything. And also, what I like, and whoever's just listening and watching, I wish you wouldn't do that, call in. It's 323-792-3050 or chat in our awesome chat room because nobody knows the experience. If you're watching this, click on it and go into the chat room. You could put any screen name you want in. You could do anything, but you have to see the gathering that is in that room. For 1 year, we have spent. People actually are family in there. They look forward to being around each other and talking to each other. It's a communication. It's a gathering, okay? And also you can understand that if you book a reading, go to click above my head, www.carriepsychiccafe.com, or you can go to my Facebook and you could like me, follow me. There's many things, and I have an awesome website that you can actually go on to see this show. So before Andrea is going to be phoning in today, because sometimes there's a problem that goes on with the Skyping, because electronically, like I do, things get messed up. But she was on TV and she messed up all the spirituality this woman has, and you have no idea. So what I'm going to do? All right,
do you want to take a phone call?
No.
Real quick, you'll take one.
No. This is Suziani, okay? Suziani made this for Andrea and I today, and we're going to start phone calls after Andrea's done. That was the rules today. If anybody was to listen, they were the rules, okay? So I'm going to go through the bio right now, and how do I do that, Thomas? I want everybody in the world to hear a little bit of why I love and respect Andrea Perron. So, action.
A brief bio of Andrea Perron. Andrea Perron is the author of the trilogy House of Darkness, House of Light. These books chronicle the life she shared with dead and living alike in a colonial-era farmhouse in Harrisville, Rhode Island. Born in 1958, at the age of 12, her parents purchased the Arnold estate, beginning an incredible journey beyond the realm of reality as most perceive it to be. A collective memoir, it details the encounters experienced by each and every member of her family. 7 mere mortals spent a decade exploring the vast expanse of possibilities which exist beyond the 5 senses, employing the 6th for clarity. Andrea received an interdisciplinary degree in English and philosophy from Chatham College in 1980, and 2 weeks later left the farm with her family, moving to Georgia in June of that year. She has since owned 2 businesses and spent nearly a decade as a counselor before abandoning her career to tell this story, to write the books she believes she was destined to write. She lives quietly with her mother in rural Georgia, where she continues her work, as the final manuscript is poised for publication in October of 2013. She is a human rights advocate, an animal rights activist, and an outspoken member of the world community, which she insists needs to be saved from themselves. You can visit her YouTube channel and website for more information. House of Darkness, House of Light is no ordinary ghost story. It is a collective memoir, expansive in scope. It is essentially a cosmic love story. Anyone unprepared for its darkest contents should choose less dense material, according to the author, as this series of books functions as interactive literature. It is not written to be horrifying, though it has that effect on some readers. Instead, it is meant to be read and assimilated, absorbed slowly and deliberately, like a lengthy lamentation of spiritual meditation. It takes the reader on a decade-long journey through the darkness and into the light of higher consciousness, imbuing the participating reader with a heightened level of awareness in the process. No one leaves its pages unaltered by the experience, as was the family who had the encounters originally. The Perron family purchased the farmhouse in 1970 and spent the next 10 years discovering the good and evil are in a perpetual state of war, that there is something beyond our mortal existence. It poses far more questions than answers and forces the reader to ponder some uncomfortable concepts. Andrea describes the place as a portal cleverly disguised as a farmhouse. It is a place where time and space stand still and become irrelevant to the encounter, shared space. It is a window to the past and future alike, a point of epiphany for those who are incapable of comprehending its contents. Death is not the end, and may in fact only be the beginning. The Perron family waited more than 30 years to tell the tale of darkness and light. They had to process what occurred in their home, in their lives, and the world had to be ready for what it had to share with its people. As Carrie-Ann, her mother, the matriarch of the family, explains, this is not the kind of thing one should rightfully take to the grave. It requires courage and an open mind by all accounts. The world is ready for the House of Darkness, House of Light. Now, the film The Conjuring tells a story in broad, sweeping strokes, painting a picture of the struggle between good and evil, the triumph of love over fear. The fine lines of history are etched upon the page of the extensive manuscript. Many elements of the film were fictionalized, but the books tell the truth. The Conjuring was based on the investigative files of Ed and Lorraine Warren. The books come directly from the source, Andrea Perron. The entire family who experienced these supernatural shenanigans, some of which were even more severe than anything represented on film. This is the classic case of truth being stranger than fiction. And with that, it is our pleasure to welcome Andrea Perron to the show.
So Andrea will be calling in at 8:15 if we have some questions that we would like to do. I wanted everybody to kind of know a little bit about a preview of who some people know of Andrea, or some people have read the books and not seen the movie. Everybody needed to understand what exactly the gift you're all receiving tonight. I just needed you to know that. So she will be calling in. Andrea, will you let me know when she will be ready to be calling in, Amnon? Ma'am?
She's not here, but she can call anytime. Do you want,
I could take a question then.
Or call.
okay.
Or call.
Talk to Tracy.
Okay.
Hello.
Hey, Trace, how are
Hi,
you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm awesome. It's going to be an awesome show tonight. What can I help you with, my love?
This is the first time I've ever got through, and I am so excited.
Very good. What can I help you with, my dear?
I basically wanted to ask you a question. I've been fighting anxiety in my life for the past, month or so. Do you see it getting any better for me?
Aaron wants you to know that you need to take, number one, we're going to just go all homeopathic here. Thank you. I believe that there is a natural remedy. I also was told today, I had somebody help me, Debbie Brooke, that's on another station of mine. There's certain things you can take for it. You don't have to go sometimes medically. I mean, Xanax is always for everybody, but there is a thing called belladonna that thank you, that that you can go and do and take, and it be naturally, because your anxiety stems from your childhood. So you were like born with it, just so you know. But on the other half of it, you need to really just every day's a new day, Trace. Every day's a new day, and things will get better. It's inevitable with you. But your body is reacting to other things. So I believe that this, and like I said, Debbie Brooke, who is an amazing, I just got off the phone with her. I had a situation to go on before that. I was like, whoa. And she gave me a bunch of stuff, which if I wasn't on the money with this one, because Aaron's suggesting, and clonidine. I want to go here herbally first. I'm not a doctor. I don't ever claim to be. I have 4 awesome guardians. Aaron's a doctor. So I would say that if I'm not right, Debbie's in the room, I think. And if I'm not right, are you in the room, Trace, today? Are you on the chat room?
Yes,
All right.
Yes, I am.
Okay, so Debbie, if you're watching, and I wasn't right with that, with the herbally, because I'm the one who just said it, because you had mentioned it for me today, and Aaron is suggesting, clonidine. So I would try herb first, and then, that's up to you, sweetheart. Okay, but you got to relax.
Okay.
Every day's a new day, and everything will work out. My father says that your life needs to just digest and relax. You're kind of like my life, and I also suggest you need to just sit back, relax, and start enjoying things instead of worrying about things, and let the universe help you bring everything in. Because a lot of people in the world today are so in a rush and are so in a rut, and everything keeps happening over and over again. You're like, if there was nothing but bad luck, I have no luck at all. There's a moment where you have to say, Trace, you got to say to yourself, I need to do something different. How about a life coach? Do you ever hear? Do you have a life coach?
Hello.
Hello.
This is Andrea.
Hi, Andrea. How are you? I'm
Hi.
sorry, I was on a reading and didn't know I was being put over to Andrea. Hi. How are you?
Hi. How are you?
Okay, everybody. This is Andrea Perrin. Welcome to the show.
Hold on a second. Hold on. Tracy, are you still there?
I hope not.
No. Well, she shows like she is.
Okay, Andrea.
Yes,
I did. Did you happen to hear the little spiel that Tom did for you? He did all your bio. And I just wanted the world to know who you were and everything like that, and what's going on and how everything is. And nobody can call in for 20 minutes because, Andrea, I want to say thank you so much for doing this show tonight. You're just an amazing woman to me. You're a mentor, a friend, a sister. What you put out to the world and the world receives is just amazing. You're so gifted and talented, and I just there's no words for you. I got off the phone with her. She just like helped me out of a bad situation. But you know, there's no words for Andrea Perrin is to me like that's the world changing event is when you know about Andrea Perrin. So Andrea, whenever you want to go and talk about what you want to talk about, and I just have everything good to say about Andrea Perrin every day. So I need a little bit of Andrea every day. So how are you doing tonight, my dear?
I have just come off of, I'm on a real high. I just spent the weekend with the North Georgia Paranormal Group, J.W. McDonald and his entire team up in the mountains of North Georgia in Chatsworth and Eton. And it was, oh my God, what a most wonderful experience it was. The most fabulous people, the best Georgia home cooking you could ever let touch your lips. And a special shout out to the homemade blueberry waffles, I have to say. And I've met fabulous people. I met fabulous critters. I'm in love with Cooter, the Boston Terrier. I am just enormously gifted to have met all of these people. The people of Chatsworth and Eton are just absolutely salt of the earth. And we raised a lot of money this weekend for the Toys for Tots and St. Jude's Children's Hospital and Secret Santa, and, you know, really all put our heads together to make some serious money, to make sure that those children up in the mountains have the most spectacular Christmas. And it is, what a joy to be able to give to the community and to interact with the community that way. So my whole way home, I took my sister April with me, and all the way home, all we did was chat about this one and chat about that one, and, you know, all the wondrous people that we met and the fabulous photographs that went all over Facebook all weekend long, and we laughed and shared our great experience together. I've never taken April on a book signing or a festival. It was the Pumpkin Festival, and oh my God, it rocked my world. So, and I wanted to let you know, I've got some big things coming up in the future as well. I have been invited to be a speaker at the Beyond Expo out on the Queen Mary that is parked in Long Beach, California, next March. Susan Bell and Travis Short are the ones that sucked me into that vortex, and I couldn't be happier about it. They're going to be spectacular people there, some of the very best of the best speakers from around the world. This is going to be a truly remarkable event, truly remarkable. And I've got all kinds of stuff in the works, and I am sending out my very last package of material. I'll be honest with you, I delayed Volume 3 by a couple of months, and I did it deliberately. Not only was I absolutely swamped with appearances, and I was, you know, flying all over the country promoting the film, and, you know, I'm really, really tied up and absolutely exhausted. But, you know, there was also all the bad stuff that happened up around the farm and Bathsheba's tombstone, and, you know, I mean, it was really, there was a lot of negative energy around all of that, and it sucked me dry. And I thought, best not to stir the cauldron, you know. So I put Volume 3 off. I figured, you know, people waited 2 years for Volume 2. They would pardon me and wait 6 months for Volume 3.
Absolutely. You have to rest.
I pardon you, Andrea.
Tom pardoned you.
Bless his heart. My dear, sweet Thomas. I can almost feel his scruffy beard against my cheek.
You happy now?
Yeah.
Oh, my
well,
goodness.
you know, he jumped me. You know, Carrie, you remember when we met in South Carolina, and he jumped on me as I got out of the car.
That was unbelievable.
You know, and then threw it in your face that he hugged me first.
All the time.
So when we meet up next month in Rhode Island,
yes, we're going. You and I.
Okay, I'm not going near the man until I have you in my arms. Okay?
No, you're all
I'm
mine.
not going near him. I will have my father hold him at bay if necessary until I get to hug you first.
He loves you, though. He loves you, and I love you. But I can't wait for Rhode Island. I just can't wait for Rhode Island. And we had a fun time in Aiken and doing that whole Paragon. And nobody, I don't think half the world knows exactly what they're in for. But everybody better hold on, because
I'm introducing a whole new
oh my God, yes.
lecture presentation. I'm very grateful to have been invited to lecture at the New England Institute of Technology.
Wow.
A wonderful, wonderful school in East Greenwich, Rhode Island. And I'm doing a presentation there on October 24th, and I truly hope that you and Thomas can be there. I think that would be spectacular. And it's in the evening. It's at 7 o'clock in the evening. It's free and open to the public. And we're going to have a great time. And I am introducing an entirely new presentation at that point, because I think that it is time to really start talking about the very big issues around what happened to us at the farm, the really big ones. And one of the things that, I am stirring the cauldron a little bit on is the notion that the veil is an illusion, that we create it to help define the parameters of our reality, and that's in quotations, but that actually we don't live in a three-dimensional world. We live in a multi-dimensional world, and that as young children who come into this world as infants and often carry past memories and carry, with us what we've already experienced in this secular thing called life, that's when the programming begins, when we're just little itty-bitties. And I think about how many millions of times over the course of human history a child has been told by an adult, no, Grandma didn't read you a bedtime story last night, honey. Grandma died a couple of years before you were born. Well, yes, Grandma did read that baby a bedtime story and came to see the young'un that was born into the family. Yes, she did. And she's always there, whether or not you can see her. And I often use the metaphor about, on the night of the full moon, how it bathes the earth in glorious glow of light. But on the night of the new moon, does anyone seriously doubt that the moon isn't there anymore because we can't see it?
Right. I just get mesmerized when you speak. I was
hoping you hadn't fallen asleep.
No, I just mesmerized by when you speak. Because everything you say, it just feels like with Annie, I call her Annie, it just feels like I already heard it before. Like it's not new to me, Annie. It's just...
Well, know something, honey, I have to tell you, everything that I say is not new. No. Every single thing that I say has been said at some time by someone in the course of human history. Right. Everything. And it's just, I think it's really more the way some people hear something for the first time because of the way that it's said or the context in which it is said, even though they've heard it 1,000 times before. But this is the time that it clicks. This is the person that it clicks from.
Oh, absolutely. 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 Everything you say and everything that you talk about and discuss, the world is just ready. The world needs to know this exists. The world needs to know there's changes that have to happen. The world needs to know that what even I do, this is real, and we're not going anywhere. It's just going to get larger.
No, we're not going anywhere, and we are part of the awakening, which is happening all over this globe. We're a part of it. And I say that very humbly. There is no ego involved with this. I don't know how many times this past weekend I heard the word celebrity. And I'm just not a celebrity. I'll never be a celebrity. Angelina Jolie is a celebrity. I'm Annie. And I'm a normal person who had an incredible paranormal experience as a child. And now I'm telling the world about what happened to our family. And so somehow in the minds of some folks, that elevates me in terms of status. But the truth of the matter is that we all bleed red and we all shed tears. And we are all the same. We are all human beings. We're mere mortals seeking to know the truth of our existence. And if I am free to share anything, it's that how we comport ourselves in this life matters. It matters. And so all I do is preach the good word. That's all I do. Be kind, be loving, be forgiving, be generous, share whatever you can with anyone in need. Always help every animal that you can help every child that you can help anyone that you can ever help. And your whole life is about that, Carrie. Your whole life is about that. And I know sometimes it's draining. Sometimes it's draining for me as well. Yeah. But the truth of the matter is that we get so much more from it than we actually give. And even though it can be tiring, it can be downright exhausting sometimes to be surrounded by hundreds, if not thousands of people who are hanging on what you're saying as if they are hearing it for the first time. It's also truly a privilege to be able to interact with other souls in this way. And we are gathering together, my dear. Birds of a feather do tend to flock together. And we are gathering those who see the light, those who know there's a better life and there's a better world. And I'll tell you, it's going to be shocking to a lot of folks when my DVD comes out on Mysterious World TV, because I included, there was, well, you and my dear sweet Thomas. Oh, I can feel the whiskers on my cheeks. You saw it, and I know how many. You called me afterwards and you said, honey, we had to watch 15 or 20 minutes of it and then stop, and then another 15 or 20 minutes and then stop and take it in and take it in. Because honest to God, I've done, you know how many interviews I've done. I've done probably thousands of interviews. But that was the one. That was the one. And I blame Devin Belanger for this. Because she and Angie Stockman made me say things that I had no intention of sharing. And then, after the fact, they put it all together into this beautiful package, this absolutely magnificently produced, like, docudrama interview. I mean, it's really an amazing thing. Well, and it should be. You know, we've got Mysterious World TV covering this. It's amazing. And they called me and they're like, please let us leave it in. Please let us leave it in. And before I even spilled my guts with those two, I told them flat out, you cannot use this material. I'll tell you what I know, but you cannot use this material. And then, of course, you know, they called me and said, oh, but please. And, you know, Devin whines in an English accent, which is utterly charming. And, you know, and Angie didn't even, you know, Angie just basically said to me, this needs to be included. But Devin was, darling dear, don't you understand? This is so significant. This is so important. We simply must include it. Please say yes. And she was just so sweet. What was I going to say? You know,
How would you say no to that?
I remember her saying that. I remember that in her eyes because we saw the DVD.
Yeah, we had the privilege of seeing it before
anybody
saw it. Well, I mean, and believe me, when it does come out, you're going to have to just take it in intervals, 15 minutes, digest it, understand it, then go again, and you're going to have to do it, and maybe watch it 2, 3, 4, 5 times more, because what has to be said and what was said on this, and it's just unbelievable. I don't know how much I could talk about. All I know is that when everybody gets this, Andrea, it's going to be like, boom. Like, you know, they'll get it. They'll get it. It's just amazing. It was amazing.
It freaked me out.
It freaked Tom out. And
yeah, I know. I know it did. He called me.
We were like, huh? Oh my God, what? You know? And actually, I have to be honest. I know you know this. Emily, our daughter, was watching it with us, and she is so into Andrea. She has read both books. She's blown. She can't wait to the third one. And Andrea, actually, when we were worked together, we were with each other and hanging out in the Paragon. She wrote a beautiful song for Emily in there. So Emily now knows Andrea how to play that song on her guitar that she self-taught herself. And she calls that, you know, she says, well, Andrea said that that was a song that I should play. And she learned it word for word, Ann. word for word. She is the biggest fan of you, Emily, among the world. My daughter Emily's only 16 years old, and she's a very big Andrea Parent fan. She just gets it,
But
and she's
also
16.
gifted.
She's tremendously gifted. But I sorry to interrupt you. I had to just add that, Annie. Sorry.
No, that's no problem, dear. But I will tell you that there is a seismic shift occurring, and it's not just with me. It's with millions of other people. I'm just one among the masses, just one. And you know what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah.
There are things that have to change, must change in this world of ours if we are going to be sustained as a species. There's nothing less significant at stake than the future of the species.
Right.
And I don't know exactly how everything is integrated, but I do know that everything is integrated. And so I very reluctantly gave Devin and Angie permission to use the entire substance of the interview, because I think that it's time now to open. In fact, let me rephrase. I know that it's time to throw open the doors to awareness and understanding. And I think that it's time for the conversation to begin in earnest. And if I'm the one that has to be, the sacrificial lamb, as it were, and throw myself down on the altar and say, let it fall as it may, then I will be the one to do that, because I tell folks all the time, kind of with a wink in my eye, I turned into an accidental lecturer. I was really just a reclusive writer who was perfectly happy to stay home with my mom and my sister and live happily ever after, tethered to my keyboard. That's where I am most comfortable, when I am writing and when I am sharing my ideas with the world in whatever form that I can, whether it be doing interviews like this, although there's really no other interview like doing one with Carrie-Ann and Thomas, my dear sweet Thomas. But it's always an enlightening endeavor. But I'll tell you, I'm ready now. I'm ready. And I don't know what happened. I don't know what clicked. All I know is that everything happens with purpose and reason, and the time has come now for me to speak my piece, because the way I feel about it is it would be irresponsible for me to know what I know and not say so.
Correct. The world is ready. The world will hear, and they'd have no idea
just tell
what's
her,
going to change.
Tell her about all that stuff about the food, the melting of the nuclear reactor, how bad that's getting.
Yeah, the melting of the nuclear reactor. Thomas brings that up all the time.
I know. He sent me another link about that today. Thomas, thank you, honey. I appreciate that. I haven't even had a chance to open it and look at it. But this is what I know, and that is that 3 of 4 nuclear reactors at Fukushima Daiichi are in full, complete, utter meltdown. And they don't know how to stop it. We have never, ever faced anything like this in the course of human history before. And it could actually render a very large chunk of Japan uninhabitable. But here's the thing. You know what I said a few minutes ago about everything is integrated? Right. Every ocean flows into every other ocean. It doesn't matter that we've given them different names. Right. 300 to 400 million gallons of cesium and radioactive water is flowing into the Pacific Ocean every single day. The main part of the debris mass that is floating out in the ocean is quickly approaching California. It is highly radioactive, and it's going to be on our shoreline. There's no difference between Japan and the United States and China and Russia and Iceland and Antarctica. We are one globe. And until we start treating each other like what we really are, which is brothers and sisters, and until we stop playing with matches and messing with things that we can't control, whoever thought that it was acceptable to begin experimentation with radioactivity and not know what the fundamental outcome of that would be and how to stop it once it went into full, complete meltdown. We thought Chernobyl was bad. It'll be a minimum of 500,000 years before anybody would ever be able to live even remotely close to where Chernobyl exploded. This is so much worse. This makes 3 Mile Island look like a blip on the radar. And you know, the thing that drives me out of my mind, is that the news wants to cover the disgusting behavior of a teenager named Miley Cyrus instead of dealing with the fact that our world is in critical condition. And it is time to start discussing that. And if the ghosts that I grew up with gave me the forum to discuss this and to bring this into the forefront of the conversation, then I'm glad. Because I'll tell you what's going on in our world right now scares me way more than any spirit ever did.
Scares me too. It scares me too.
You know, I didn't even have children, but that doesn't matter. I'm worried, truly worried, frightened
for the
children and the grandchildren and what kind of world is going to be left to them. And I am sick to death of the politicians. I'm ready to wring all their necks. And, you know, I'm a big Barack Obama supporter. You know that about me. I am a bleeding heart, left-wing Democrat. That's what I am. I put it out there. The Republicans can hate me and hang up on me if they want to. But you know what? None of them know how to play nice. None of them know how to agree on anything. It's just war and war and more war, and let's make some more war. And the fact of the matter is, until we come to terms with the fact that we will destroy ourselves if we do not find a path to peace. Now, what am I saying to you right now? I am not saying anything differently to you than Jesus Christ did 2,000 years ago when he came into the forefront of human consciousness and the Prince of Peace started spreading the word, love thy neighbor as thyself, forgive and let go and let God and believe and have faith and truly love each other and embrace each other and help each other. And I'm not saying anything differently than he did. And what happened when the Prince of Peace came into our barbaric, quote, civilization? What happened? Everybody decided that whoever didn't believe in the word of Jesus Christ should be murdered. And more people have died in the name of religion on this planet than by all disease combined. I'm sick of it. When are we going to evolve? If not now, never. If not now, never. Correct. It's time. Wake up.
Right. Exactly. I'm with you 100%. You know that.
Yeah, I know you are. We've discussed this.
I will never leave.
And sometimes I discuss this at the top of my lungs because I can't help it. You know, even my sister will come to me and she's like, honey, calm down. You're going to have a stroke. You know?
I remember we discussed this in Aiken and all the lights went off in the hotel.
Yeah, Andrea and I and Tom were hanging out in the carriage. Well, we were staying at the same place together at Aiken's, and Andrea and Tom and I were out in the back, and she was saying the same thing, and all the lights kept going out on the porch constantly. She has that power. She has that ability. She has that strength. It's something that's going to be set out to the world. It's being set now, and everybody. I tell everybody all the time about you, Annie, that the world needs to hear. They need to listen, and they need to make changes. And this is what it's about. It's time. It's time. So everybody listening to this tonight and listening to Andrea, please listen. I mean, it's hard for people to listen sometimes, you know, Annie? And, you know, you can hear something, you have to listen. And
well, I'm going to tell you something that, you know, anybody who has a book out there or a DVD out there, and they're doing one interview after another, and they're trying to push their message and promote their work. What I'm telling everybody that's within earshot of me right now, forget about me. Just for a few minutes, forget I even exist, and go to the Mysterious World TV website and order a DVD by the Right and Honorable Paul Hellyer. The Right and Honorable Paul Hellyer, the former Defense Minister of Canada. This man is 90 years old, and he granted an interview to Devin Belanger and Angie Stockman that will rock your world. It will change the way you think about everything, and that is what you need to absorb into your consciousness, everyone. It is a pittance. It's like $14 or so. It's a pittance for the education that you will receive in 1 hour of a lecture at a seminar, a closed seminar that Devin was, she's done a favor to the whole world. She's done a favor to the universe. And people need to pay very close attention to what's going on with Mysterious World TV. It is absolutely amazing. There are enormous changes. And yes, I'm involved, and I'm thrilled to be involved, but I'm on the periphery compared to people like Paul Hellyer and Paula Harris. I'm telling you.
Thomas has put that in the chat room for you.
Oh, okay, sure, great. Bring it on.
Okay.
Well, Margie did too.
Margie did too. Just so you know, I don't want to interrupt you. Go ahead.
Oh, Marge. Oh, my Margie Mirsky.
Love her too.
Oh, I'll tell you what. Now, that's a woman you should all follow, all of you.
I agree. I follow her.
Tell her we're going to order that necklace.
Yeah, we're going to get to her.
Oh, are you? Are you going to order the talisman? We haven't even put it out on the market yet. You know, a lot of people have asked us about it. It's the one that I wore at the opening of the film at The Conjuring. And Marge made one of them for every member of my family, and then, of course, one for her. But then, again, Marge really is a member of my family. Absolutely. And the artisan should always have one of her own pieces of work anyway. She is an absolutely brilliant artist, but aside from that, she's the one that's responsible for my incredible web presence. And I thank her every day for what she does.
Well, I am going to.
The original?
Yeah, I remember that we were talking about it at the carriage.
Yes.
And that I was going to also. You were allowing me to get one of the original.
Yes.
And I am very honored by that. So I will be purchasing that.
But I want you to have one of the originals, honey. I do. Marge will make that for you. Anybody that wants one can order one from her. But I'm finding that the people that are contacting her are, really in my, how we circled the wagons a couple of years ago. You've got one of the wagons in the circle. You and my dear sweet Thomas.
I love her. I am so truly blessed to know of you and have been able to evolve and be mentored and just have a great friend and a sister. I just really, I can't say, everybody that's listening and hears Andrea speak and as she goes forward and speaks more, you all need to listen. I just really want you to listen. Listen. It's so important to listen to her. So I'm sorry. You can continue, Andrea. I'm sorry.
Well, did you have anybody in the chat room that had a question? I'm perfectly willing to take that question.
Actually, my staff in there are going to call in questions for us tonight, and so they're going to address you and they'll address me. So we're going to rock it. Yeah, is Suziani on hold?
I don't see her.
I told her to call in.
All right, she's going to call in. So there's a ton of questions in the chat room.
Oh, my God.
There's it's blown up tonight.
The chat room actually says it's full.
Nobody else could come in the chat room tonight. You have made a full house, my dear.
Oh, come on. Cyberspace is bigger than that.
My chat can only hold a certain amount of people, and we are chatted, man. We are
Right,
great.
she said she's calling in now.
Okay, so
tell Andrea this is
Angie
Susie that did the artwork.
Yeah, Annie, this is the one who the woman that did our artwork is going to be calling in.
Great. Oh, that was so charming. Absolutely lovely.
There she is.
Hi, Suziani. All right.
Oh, hello?
Is she there?
I'm waiting.
No, I don't hear her.
This sometimes happens.
She says she hears music.
She hears music, she said. So, but you know, I just the world just needs to understand, and once everything comes out, even more so. And
She's not cued in.
She's not cued in. The world. Now, talking about the movie The Conjuring, Annie, like, I went to see it, obviously, and the world's seen it. And there's some people, though, that, when they have read the books and they have done all the legwork like we've done, and we understand that the movie is a movie and it just is everything. But there were some parts in it that were not in the movie that happened. And, and that's why everybody needs to, like, I tell everybody, you have to read the books. You have to read them. Because
I
the
will
movie...
tell you, there's not a single scene from the books that has been replicated in the film.
Right.
And that's understandable because they had so much information to work with between what Mrs. Warren provided to them and what I provided to them that they had no choice but to, pull a thread here and pull a thread there from her information and from what I provided. And with that, they decided to weave together a separate story that is distinct from really both of the sources of information. And they did that so that it would have a certain flow. And, the thing that I give all the credit in the world to New Line Cinema and Warner Brothers, because they put me out front in a way that I never expected, and I'm eternally grateful for in terms of promoting the film. And all I did was speak from my heart. I think it is an absolutely beautiful film. I think it's incredibly well crafted. It's masterful in many respects. I think James Wan handled the material with great sensitivity and maturity, and in the process has catapulted himself into the upper echelon of directors and certainly is master of the genre. There can be no question about that in anyone's mind. But I was also absolutely free to discuss the discrepancies. Nobody had any issue with that. And so, I've done that, as I do with most things, with lighthearted humor. And I start with, for instance, my mother doesn't bite, even when provoked, because if she did, my father would be covered in scars. So, let everybody be clear about that. There was not an exorcism that took place in the house. Regardless of what you heard, I was there. It was not an exorcism. It didn't happen in the cellar. It happened in the dining room, and it was a seance, or what Mrs. Warren referred to as a gathering of souls. And it got out of control immediately, within moments of the medium beckoning the souls to enter through a door that was thrown wide open. And all hell broke loose in our home.
Andrea, let me stop you a second. Suziani, call the 518-9773. It's not going to work with the way that we can't have a call in coming through the phone. And no, Suziani, go ahead and disconnect and then call in on 919-518-9773. As long as Andrea is on that line, we cannot use the other one.
Okay.
Oh,
thank you for letting us
I'm the
know,
one that's blocking the works here.
We never tried it that way, and apparently it cancels the other one. This is why when Andrea came online, Tracy, suddenly we couldn't hear her. It doesn't
Andrea
work like
just takes over.
I did, and I didn't mean to. I'm really not that pushy. Actually, sometimes I am that pushy, but only when it's really important,
Absolutely. It's
so
all good.
Let me clarify.
Right, let's see now. Suziani, you here?
Yes, I finally
there
am.
She is.
Oh, hi. Thank you for your artwork. That was just lovely, honey. It's posted right on my wall.
It was my pleasure. It was my pleasure. It's so nice to meet you, Andrea. I've watched all your videos on YouTube. I saw The Conjuring, which I thought was fabulous. And it's just a pleasure listening to you. And everybody is so enjoying the show, but there are loads of questions in chat.
Well, I'm so excited about that, and I'm happy to answer them. I'll just take one more minute to just clarify the few things that I want to for those who see the film but also read the books. And one of the other points that is important to make, and I understand why the filmmakers did what they did, because they needed to create a point of demarcation. But we were not what was represented in the film as in terms of, being godless heathens. We were all born and raised Catholic. We were all baptized into the Catholic Church, and the Catholic Church turned its back on us. It was not the other way around. And I also want to make it extremely clear to everyone who is within earshot of this that my mother would never in a billion years do anything to hurt any of her children. And that was the intimation, in the film, is that Bathsheba was a witch. Bathsheba got a really raw deal in the film. There is absolutely no documentation anywhere that Bathsheba is a witch. And I will give you a little heads up about Volume 3. And in the time that I delayed the publication, I've added some more material because I found that when the film came out and the reaction to Bathsheba Sherman based on her portrayal in the film and the desecration of her gravesite, which, happened, some idiot out there, and I don't know who it is, but she does, and woe be unto them, decided to take a baseball bat or some kind of something to her gravestone that had just been lovingly restored. And, there's absolutely no excuse for that. Absolutely none. To take that film at face value and to believe everything that they saw on that screen is ludicrous. Absolutely ludicrous, especially considering I made it very clear that the whole true story is in the books. The fine lines of history are etched on the pages of these books. And there's an entire chapter in Volume 3 that talks about how a person's reputation can be besmirched in life and can follow them after their own death. And is there any question in anyone's mind that Bathsheba is as haunted as she is a haunting character in history? Now, if she was falsely accused of killing that baby, of committing something as cruel as infanticide, and if she actually did not do that, but spent her entire life being accused of it, having that horrible dark cloud hanging over her head, the suspicion and the accusation, she was tried and convicted by the jury called public opinion. And is there any wonder she became a bitter, vindictive old woman? There's no question in my mind about it. And, I tried very hard to tell her entire story to the best of my ability with whatever I had at my disposal for research material. And what I learned of her, what I know of her from living in the house, what I learned later on subsequently, all that I know about this woman. And I think that it's very important that people come away with one singular notion, and that is that words can be used as weaponry. Words can be used as weaponry. And you can say things about another person that will live on beyond their own death. And that is what is so implicitly unfair. We all need to treat each other with kindness and temperance and understanding and compassion. And when we get to that point, I will feel as though there is some salvation for this species. But until then, that's what we need to work at with singular cause and purpose, is to get to the point where we all understand that we are one. We are a manifestation of God consciousness. We are how God sees itself.
Right. Amen. Wow. That's it. Just yeah. I told everybody again in the beginning when I get quiet. Your words, the way you speak, the way you are, how you put it out there, it's just right in your face. And if everybody doesn't feel that too, then there's something wrong, because you have to understand that everything that is being spoke of today, you need to listen. You need to listen. Annie, could we take some questions from Susie?
Absolutely.
All right,
Go
my
right
love.
ahead, honey.
Go ahead,
Okay.
Susie.
All right, the first one is from Ann, but I believe it's Anita. I think she just told us she's Anita. She said her dearest friend Eric died in February, and she misses him terribly. Does he have any messages for her or for his mom? He was 33 when he died.
Yeah,
well, what I would yes, I'll just hop in here for just a second, Carrie, and then you go on. I want Anita to know that Eric, one of the lines in the books is there's no need to mourn them, they're not really gone. When someone passes away, and I'm saying this on behalf of my dear friend Julie as well, who is suffering a perceived loss, and I call it that because that's her perception, and it's Anita's perception that they've lost someone that they truly love, and they haven't lost anything. We are all essentially spirit. And even though we temporarily occupy this vessel called the body, there's nothing about this body that is designed to last forever. And just because the body died does not mean that the spirit is vacant and that the soul has moved on away. What it means is that you don't have that physical presence to hug and to hold and to cuddle and to kiss and to talk to anymore. But that doesn't mean you can't have that conversation. And I guarantee you, if you sit down and get still and get quiet and you begin that conversation, you will be answered. And everyone who passes from this realm into the next, if they pass on and they are at peace, they will openly communicate. And if they are not, you can help them achieve that peace.
Amen.
Yeah, amen is right.
Go ahead. You could ask the next question because she just answered it.
Yeah.
I mean,
Do you have anything to add?
Well, yeah, I could tell you that. Yeah. Go ahead, Susiani. No, I can add in the room.
Okay, so you want the next question then?
Sure.
JCE, and it's a he, wants to know if there's any concerns with his mother's health.
Absolutely. Aaron says that you should really get medical attention to her, like ASAP. The problem with her digestive system and a problem with that oh my God, thank you. She also has something neurologically that's not going on right. But Aaron also compliments and says that he also can get this problem also because it's family bound. So you need to really watch anything to do with that, because it's very important that you get a medical assistance immediately. Those two things have to be addressed immediately. Whether she kicks and screams, I want her to go. So do you want to add anything, Ann? Annie?
Well, what I would say is that there's a disturbance in the force, that there's some kind of imbalance going on that needs to be addressed immediately.
Absolutely. Thank you. And the next one, Susiani?
Yes, the next one is from Rosemarie, and she said, this is for you, Carrie. Carrie, she said you told her to see another doctor for a second opinion and that you were sorry for what she was experiencing. Right. Did the guardians have any insight into this?
Well, did Erin tell her, did she see did she see the doctor? Or is there, did she get the results, or did she get the second opinion?
She didn't say.
Well, she needs to tell us that. Erin said something's wrong here. So I assume that she did not do that yet. You need to do that, please. And do it quickly. There's a second opinion involved. There is a misdiagnosis here. There's something that one doctor has missed, and I'm telling you right now that you need to get on it before they start any type of treatment or any type of procedure, because there's something else that's not. They misdiagnosed. Thank you. Erin said there's a misdiagnosis somewhere here. Anything, Annie?
No, I'm letting you take that one.
Okay, thank you. And the next one, Susie?
Okay, and this one is for either of you, and it's from Christine, and she wants to know, when will their trouble go away? She can't take it anymore.
Well, we're all responsible for the trouble that comes into our lives. Every one of us has to. Whenever there is an obstacle, the first thing to do to begin to address whatever obstacle it is to own it, claim it, because we constantly manifest. That is what we do. That is the nature of our existence. We constantly manifest. So if there's a problem that cropped up, if there's a misunderstanding that took place, we have to be responsible for our part in that. And then once the obstacle is identified and once the responsibility has been claimed for it, I find, at least in terms of myself, and I can only speak for myself around this, I will generally be able to see with some clarity what needs to be done to address it. And here's the thing about obstacles in life. Everything in nature is secular. Everything is. We're going to have down times. We're going to have up times. Nothing ever stays the same. The universe is in constant flux. That is the nature of the universe. It's all fluxed up. That's one of my very favorite things to say. And I know it's almost dirty, but it's really true. And the fact of the matter is that when you have an obstacle, that is a lesson to be learned. And when you approach every obstacle that comes in your pathway, there is a lesson there for you to learn. If you do not learn it, it will represent itself automatically. That is the immutable law of the universe. It's just as effective as the law of attraction. It's just as effective as the law of gravity. It is. And so what you need to do is examine it from every conceivable angle. Because when there is an obstacle, and it's funny, I was just counseling someone about this morning. When there is an obstacle in your path, you have a number of ways to approach it. You can dig under it and come up the other side. You can walk around it to the left. You can walk around it to the right. You can go right over it, or you can ignore it. And if you ignore it, it will absolutely show itself again.
Yep, absolutely. Yep. And I'll tell you something. Christine, you got to rely on your father. You got a situation going on with you're going to come across the bearings of life that are just, nothing's going right. You're still waiting for a check to come. My dad said that there's so much more in life than all this bad going around. There's so much of your aura that needs to be clean. I need to get to you, and we need to cleanse. We need to do something in order to stir the pot. So we need to address this further. I know who you are. We're on this. We got this. And that's it. And the next question, Suziani?
The next one is from Mickey Ann, and
hey, Mick.
She wants to know if you could tell her how her grandsons are doing because she's not on speaking terms with their mother.
Yeah, I understand that. That's a big problem.